Hey guys, welcome back to a Hero's Journey podcast, part 2 with Tommy Vext. Part 1 ran so long that we turned this into 2 episodes. So to the Rock Rage Radio listeners out there, thank you for tuning in. As they say, we are everywhere. And to our sponsors, I want to thank S&P Inc. Thank you. You gave me my confidence back. To JPS Computers out of Oregon, Alex and Jesse are killing it. Jesse, you're doing a great job, brother. Thank you so much for helping grow this. And if out there, if you are looking for help in that area, website designs, all that good stuff, you can reach out to JPS Computers. And again, thank you to our brand new sponsor, Red Rock Harley Davidson, right here in Las Vegas. So let's get started with part 2 with Hero's Journey Podcast and Tommy Vext.
Take the light in the winter, take it all in, see the gold in the sadness. Believe my friend, take the light in the darkness, just take it all in, embrace the love in the madness, take it all in.
You're independent. Talk about that. I want to know. I want to know this direction because you said earlier on it's changed for you, which is
like financially, it's way more advantageous, right? So
Right.
like I own, I put out 3 albums last year, right? I couldn't release any music in 2021 till we had a lawsuit, and then
Right.
we had to get all the paperwork done and what was legally allowed. And, some of my songs were purchased by my former band for their last record without me. And, and it was like, all right, cool. That we all negotiated this. I got paid. I'm like, all right, cool. Fuck you guys. Have a good life. It's all good. Like, it is what it is. Like,
right.
excuse me.
No, you're fine.
And so, I started putting out music, and I was like, I am not a label. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I know how to use social media, but they keep deleting my social media.
Yeah, you've been.
Yeah,
And each time I'm like, I've been following him.
And
Where'd it go?
They get mad too because then they delete me, and this, it costs if a label wants to delete a fucking profile like that, it's like $100,000.
Right.
It's a very expensive investment. And then I'm back up. And then all of a sudden I'm like, yo, he's over here. And all the other conservative influencers and people are like, yo, Tommy Vext is here. Go follow him here. And then everyone runs over. And then, I go from having fucking 5,000 to 180,000. And they're like, we got to take him down again. And so their new thing is they hire troll farms to make fake, like thousands of fake Tommy Vext profiles.
You were really hard to find.
Yeah, but what they're doing is that they basically hire these troll farms to create all these fake profiles of me so you can't find my real page, so you can't follow me, so that I'm not a threat to the system.
Exactly.
Right? So the problem is, when I went out on tour in 2021, I was the first artist in the world to go on tour after COVID.
I remember that.
Yeah. But there were no shows. But you remember the Monday after my tour was over, all these tours got announced.
Yeah, everybody started going.
Everybody hates Tommy Vext, but y'all fucking fought.
Yeah.
Like, I set the tone.
Yeah, you did.
And
you
I
were
was
the first one to say, I'm going.
When I
this
did
is what I'm doing.
I did free meet and greets for everyone who attended.
That's amazing.
Because I'm like, I'm not going to tell you to go put yourself at risk and be one of these like namby-pamby pussies hiding backstage like, I don't want to get COVID.
Right.
I was like, I took horse medication, and guess what? I was fine. Joe Rogan was right. Sorry. And so
that's awesome.
And we also stayed in touch with everybody, and there were no cases. The whole tour was successful. We had no cases. And then like one guy on the bus got COVID at Sturgis. And he was fine.
Yeah, he
got diarrhea.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't even know if it was that. Like,
right.
Who knows if the test even worked?
Exactly.
But yeah, so like it's one of those things. Like they'll never give me credit for that. They don't. They just hate. They just like, this motherfucker is out here. you know, before we booked the thing, even my old business manager was like, "You're gonna ruin your career." I was like, "I already did. Let's go.
Let's go have some music.
Yeah.
Let's go play some shows."
Yeah, and I'm like, "We're going to Texas, bro. These people don't give a fuck."
Right.
Like Texas
and Florida were the two
Yeah.
places that just said, bring him on. And I loved it. I went to Alaska.
Oh, nice.
And I was, during 2020, the summer, I'm out with a band called Parmalee, and we were playing these small cities.
Nice.
And playing. We were out doing shows, and 1,500 people would show up, but they were in the middle of like this smallest little
Field,
we couldn't be in Anchorage. It was like Kodiak and Wasilla and all these places on the outside of the big city, and they just made their own rules. So we were putting on these big shows and having a good time doing it. And then 2021, we came out and did shows as well. Same kind of thing. So I wanted to be back on stage. I wanted to be performing and sharing my stories, and like you. And my girl and I, like Nicole is here because she's such a big fan. And if, I don't know if you know our story, but I'll give you this abbreviated version. The shooting that happened here in Vegas, she was the girl that I grabbed in front of me with her friend and led them and other people into a refrigerator. Then when there was breaking the fire, putting them over the wall, and she stood next to me putting people over the wall. And then I led her and a group of people out by foot, and she ended up being the love of my life. It's insane. So that was 5 years ago, October 1, but then February 10th is our anniversary. It's a day that I flew her out. We were out on tour with Three Doors Down, and I flew her out to Chicago, and she got off the bus. My tour bus driver drove through the night in the snow to get there before she landed, and we said, "I love you."
Did you have to pay for the overdrive?
No, you know what was great was this guy here. It's Boston. There's a trucking company out of Boston, Capello Heavy Transport. A guy named Chuck.
Nice.
He bought us a bus. He paid for our driver, Shovelhead, who became like a celebrity amongst our band, and he paid for our gas.
Nice.
And so he literally paid him, and he said, "Just get to work, go follow your dream, and I want to be a part of that."
Hell yeah.
And he's like a brother to me. I woke up to a picture that he had sent me. He goes, "You're always with me," and it's just a photo of us on the wall at his office. But it's that kind of thing, that connection with people. But I didn't have to pay for the overdrive.
Nice.
He told me she's gonna have to wait at the airport a few hours, and he made it through the snow and the whole bit to get to her. But
I love that.
yeah, so
But that's God working through tragedy, right? Like,
Exactly.
I had my buddy Evan was in that too, and he was like, he's an arms dealer, like not on
Right.
a large scale,
Right.
but for like like Walmart and big
Right.
box companies, and so he knows everything there is to know about guns. And his father actually was one of my sponsors when I was getting sober.
Oh, wow.
And so he's a super cool dude. As soon as the thing happened, he knew it was going on, and then he started getting people out.
wow.
Yeah.
Good
So
for him.
I heard so many so many people who went through such crazy stories, and it's just like, and I grew up during 9/11, and I lost people on 9/11. And
Sorry.
But
Yeah.
it's just like what it's like Mr. Rogers says, always look for the helpers.
Right.
Whenever there's a tragedy or a terrible, horrifying thing going on, there will always be God's people in the mix doing the good thing. And that's what you have to look, and that's how y'all found each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Your intuitive nature is like to protect.
Well, if Ben got hit in the arm, he took off. He grabs me and he says, "Run," and I look back, and the girl standing in front of me is frozen. And I
she didn't
went
know
back
what to do,
and I
yeah.
grabbed her, and I looked to find Ben, and he's been trampled, and I didn't know it. I thought he had
shit.
left.
Yeah.
And I'll get into the details of that later another time. But it was insane. But there was a police officer who pointed me in the right direction when I can't get them over the wall. I can't get her over, and I hear this way, run towards Hooters, and he starts running into gunfire. So every police officer that I see, I walk up to them and shake their hand, just in case it's that guy.
Yeah.
Just in case, because they were running towards the gunfire when I was trying to get out.
Well, this is the thing that, there was the liberal media went on such a ravenous campaign to disrespect law enforcement, where everyone forgot. Like, I watched 9/11. I watched cops who are white and black and firefighters who are all races and EMTs running into collapsing buildings to pull people out, and they died. Right? You're not going to tell me, right, just because there's a couple incidences here, and again,
people everywhere.
If you paid police officers more money and you made higher requirements, you'd only have good cops.
Right. Agreed.
Stop paying them shit.
Right.
It's the same thing with teachers. We got all these piece of shit teachers who are poisoning our kids and telling them all kinds of fucking garbage nonsense, and pay the teachers better, get better quality teachers.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And all the good teachers that doing great jobs, thank you. Because like these are the things that people forget, and you can't trust the media for anything. You look at what happened during COVID, and all the nurses and doctors on the front lines when they had no medicine were heroes. And they could have died. We didn't know what the fuck we were dealing with.
We didn't know what was going on. They were still dealing with it.
18 months later, when the fucking pharmaceutical companies announced that they had a medication for COVID or whatever you want to call it, because it doesn't work.
Right.
Everyone who didn't want to get it was fired.
Right. The same people who were standing there being the heroes.
Doctors lost their licenses. All these people were destroyed because it was always about money.
Right.
Right? You have Republicans and Democrats who invested in Pfizer and Moderna and these companies in their stocks, knowing they were going to transport trillions of American dollars, right, of our tax money to give to these companies to save us. So they were invested in COVID lasting longer until they could fucking get rid of as many of these medications as possible. And then they didn't make enough money, so they're like, well, we're going to tell them that we got to take two. Because the first one didn't work. Then the second one didn't work. Then they're like, boosters. Right. It's like, no. You're like, trust the science. I'm like, you're making it up as you go along, as it's financially good for you.
Good for you.
And now we're looking at the possibility, like the CDC just said, well, at this point, we have to admit that we think that there are a connection between strokes and the vaccine. But that shit's not on the news, right? If you don't go on the CDC website, you don't know that that's what they're reporting.
Right.
It's citizen journalists who are doing all this stuff on TikTok and Twitter and whatever who are reporting this. And this is like the shit that the mainstream media should be telling people, because whether they're right or wrong, people need to know that they need to go get checked up.
Right.
But that's how you know they don't give a fuck about you.
That's sad.
It's
sad.
Yeah. So it's just like, and then if this is not insane for me to say now, but in 2020, people are like, you're crazy.
Right.
And I'm like, no, I read books and go, and I know about history, and I talk to people. Right. And every time I travel around the world, I go to museums and meet with people, and I'm a fucking geek, And like, what happened to punk rock, right? Dude, like, Peter from Offspring got fired for not getting vaccinated. He has a blood condition he was born with. He can't get vaccinated because he has a pre-existing condition. It's not even a political or whatever. It's his doctor literally was like, you can't get it. The Offspring fire him and then go on tour with a different drummer. They're all inoculated. The whole fucking tour got COVID anyway. And you know who's never got COVID? Peter. And I'm like, you fucking threw your friend away. I've been through it too over politics, bro. Like me and Doc were friends for 20 years. We were friends for 20 years. I've stood in front of him so he didn't get his ass beat before, right? I've literally taken up for him.
Wow.
I got him. I've gave him multiple jobs. When I worked in New York City, I got him a job as a bouncer. He couldn't bounce, so every time something would happen, he'd call me on the radio. I had to come save his ass.
I've seen you throw people out of clubs many, many times.
But even then, when Bad Wolves was happening, and John from Devil Driver and me, we wrote everything.
Right.
And we didn't have a band, and I was like, bro, it's my best friend. I just want him on my band, Okay. And he came to LA. His car broke down. He spent all his money fixing his car. He had to rent a couch for $500 a month in North Hollywood from somebody. And then he lost his place because his brother found out where he lives. His brother was a drug addict. I don't know how he's doing now. And he tried to rob him, and the lady was like, yo, you can't live here. And then he had no place to go. He was bartending once a week, probably making, he probably was making like $15,000 a year.
Right.
And then I took him into my company. I trained him how to be a sober coach. I put him with a client as a live-in. And he started making $70,000, $80,000 a year.
Good for you.
Yeah. And then I put him in my band, and I made him a multi-platinum selling artist for a bunch of records he didn't even play guitar on. And the best thing that he could do is he hated Trump so much that he was willing to destroy our friendship.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize.
Yeah.
This is what the great awakening, right? That all the conspiracy theories talk about. They're like, 2020 is a great awakening. What the real awakening was, who's who in your life.
Right, exactly.
Right, you're about
who's
to
going to stand there, exactly.
Yeah. And
stand next to you.
Even the people who fucking were mad at me and hated on me and blah, blah, and cursed me out and said I was crazy, da, da, da. Yo, I still hope nothing bad happens to you.
Right.
I still don't want anybody to get sick from this medication. I'm afraid for them. Right? I haven't lost my compassion. You could say whatever the fuck you want. Dude, do whatever you want.
Dude, I'm going to go back to you saving. You got saved because you went to help somebody else when you were in a place where you were ready to take your own life. So that says what kind of person you are. But that's the same reason why when I saw what was going on, I couldn't shut the fuck up. I know, but that's okay because to me, like I get back to, I mentioned it, Nick from Dadcast, he just said, I'm a big fan of him voicing his opinion no matter what it takes. And also you inspire him. He's in the gym. He has health issues. And he's having a baby today. Otherwise, nice. I would have thrown him on Zoom.
Congratulations.
I would have thrown him on Zoom and had him Zoom in. But that's a podcast I'd love for you to be a part of. And so they have 1 million followers, and these guys are big fans of yours. But back to my girl, she's a big fan of you, your voice, what you do. You've got the 2 Uncovered, Volume 1, Volume 2. I've been listening to them.
It was fun.
Dude, those records, the production alone is insane.
Well, it's so those records, the funny thing is that in 2020 during COVID, I made 5 albums, right? So I did Grand Theft Audio 1 and 2.
Okay.
And I did Uncovered 1 and 2. And then there's something else that's
no one knows yet.
The stuff that's sitting.
Okay.
Right. And so that's what the whole court battles were. We were having Instagram wars.
Right.
I
remember that.
Yeah. And the guys in the band, they before we had settled everything, they put out a song that I wrote and nobody else wrote on and put a new singer on it and put a new solo and just put it out and this is our new song without Tommy Vext and fuck that guy. He's an abusive asshole. And I remember I didn't have my phone. I had no phone service because I was on a $190 million yacht in Miami. With it wasn't my boat, obviously.
Oh yeah, right.
my buddy's buddy was like, they're a fan. And they're like, bro,
exactly.
come out on the boat. And then they're like, you could use it all day. And so they're like, what the normal guy would do is we'll call up a bunch of hot chicks, and I'm like, I'm gonna call up all my friends who are conservative patriots. So it's all these people who are political commentators on social media, and we're all on this fucking huge yacht, and the yacht's so big it has jet skis attached to it, and you can drive off and wow. Dude, it was crazy. Cool. They had a chef and a whole kitchen and 8 bathrooms, and dude, it was nuts. And so the whole day I'm just filming, we're like, oh my God, we're on a yacht. Like, oh yeah. Pretending we're pretending we're influencers because they all fake that they have money and they don't. And we're like, we don't own this. We're not rich. Right. So then I come back to my friend's house, who is the guy who called me on the train platform. He lives in Miami now. So I was staying with him, and I just got back from tour. So I was we had a 80% sold out tour of Tommy Vext. It was my first tour without Bad Wolves, and I was packed every night. I was watching that again. I was watching it on social media. And so I take a shower, and we're supposed to go to dinner. He's like, bro, did you look online today? I was like, no. I was like, I literally just uploaded our whole day. Right. And he's like, look, and it was, he showed me they were talking mad shit. I remember that too. And then I look at my stories, and the whole yacht day, I had just uploaded an hour ago, 100,000 views.
Oh my gosh.
Because everybody went to go see my response on what
and
I was
you're
doing.
on a yacht.
And I'm like, hey! People were going on their page and be like, bro, this thing is rich. He don't give a fuck. Like, he does not care. They're like, this is and they got like 30,000 comments from our own fans being like, you guys are clowns.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like, it was just hilarious. And then like the original version of the song that I wrote, many, like at least 10 or 12 people had. One of them was my friend who's an adult film actress with like 6 million Twitter followers, and she fucking just posted it. And I was like, oh no.
Oh no, it's going to get bad.
And I was like,
yeah,
you don't understand what you've just done. And then it spread through the internet like wildfire. Like, and everyone knew that they didn't write their own songs.
Wow.
And that was, you know, they're still doing their thing and they're trying. But I don't know, like, you know, Chris quit the band.
Okay.
Yeah, he quit. He called me probably like 6 to 8 months ago. And I was in LA. I was headed to LA from Nashville to record a song with Peyton Parrish, who's that Viking guy on YouTube. And he covered Zombie, and like he blew up on YouTube.
Right.
And then I was like, yeah, let's do it. And so he was like, he met me at my hotel in Santa Monica, and he was like, bro, I'm sorry, I love you. I'm like, bro, I'm sorry too. He's like, I never should have fucking went along with this. And then he proceeded to tell me everything that happened that I didn't know about.
Wow.
And it was rough, bro. It was rough. And
what, Tommy now, where is Tommy Vext right now? What is it that
Where
you
am
are, no, meaning like,
I'm excited.
yeah?
Oh yeah. Well, dude, I got like, you know, I put out Grand Theft Audio last September. It might have been the end of August. And my record came out the same day as I Prevail and Five Finger Death Punch.
Okay.
I was number 3 on iTunes. So it's Five Finger 1, I Prevail 2, me.
Badass.
I beat Evanescence.
That's badass.
It's insane.
Bro.
Right?
You were
Insane.
a security guard when Evanescence came out, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and then like, you know, this is for all the independent artists, get on TikTok. I don't care if it's Chinese owned. I made a lot of money on TikTok.
really?
Yeah. Like
So what is your handle on TikTok?
It's at Tommy Vext. So after my second Instagram got nuked, I was like, fuck it, I'll just try TikTok. Boom, overnight. Literally within 3 months, I had 300,000 followers. And I put out a clip of Take Me to Church, 15 seconds. The song wasn't available anywhere, and it went viral. It got 3 million views, and like people were like, yo, where do I buy the whole thing? So I was like, it's available Friday. So I had to rush. I went on TuneCore and I had to rush, pushed it ahead to get it available. Boom, number 4 on Billboard.
Bro.
Right?
And you just dropped Friday, you just dropped Crawling from
the video. The
song's been out, but you dropped the video, which was really cool because you pay tribute to a lot of our fallen heroes in the music industry.
Suicide is a big thing in the music industry, right? As well as addiction, and like it's something that men don't talk about. And so I included, you know, people like Anthony Bourdain and Chris Cornell, who also like had you know, tragic endings to seemingly amazing and beautiful lives. But that's what they don't tell you. Like, just because you get the big Hollywood shit, it doesn't fix what's inside.
Right.
You know, and that's why people need each other, and we need to engage in these conversations. But yes, that's like I could talk for an hour on that.
Yeah.
But the you know, the thing that I realized was like I have 4 top 20s on Billboard with no radio play and no media coverage because I'm blacklisted from the media. No festivals, no touring all year. I sold.
So you don't get to go on a tour right now? You don't get to go out?
I'm going to this year. Last year,
I'd do a song with you.
I'm down, bro.
Dude, I'm serious.
Well, what I did was I postponed my tour because I had a vocal cord hemorrhage.
Okay.
So I'm 100% better now.
Okay, good.
But but I could, like, I have to go out and headline. You know, it's very difficult because there have been the powers that be go to a festival and like, well, if you let Tommy Vext play, I'm not having my band on this, you know, my headlining artist is not going to play this festival ever again. So what is like somebody like, what are they going to say?
Right.
Fuck. So this is the stuff that Kanye West has been talking about. Whereas like, I think Kanye's he's dealing with mental health issues, and I think he said some stupid anti-Semitic shit. And my stepfather is Jewish, and like I grew up in New York, and obviously I have like a lot of Jewish friends. I know a lot of amazing Jewish people, and the problem is that Kanye West is talking about some evil businessmen who are absolutely like don't believe in God and are complete scumbag human beings, and they just happen to have those last names, and he's conflated it, and that it should be made very clear, right? Because those, it's like Hitler was a piece of shit, but does that mean all German people are bad? No, like you shouldn't make those generalizations.
Right, exactly.
But what he's talking about how there is a mafia in Hollywood, and they do run things in a way of like if you go against the slave master, you have the record label systems are like slave plantations, and if you're a big artist and you make a lot of money, they have to control you. You have handlers. Kanye's personal trainer was not even a certified personal trainer. He was a special ops guy, ex-special ops from Canada that was hired by the fucking label to keep him under control because he says whatever the fuck he wants.
Right.
And in an information war and in a culture war, you can't have one of the biggest black artists telling the black community to start thinking for themselves. Right. Because same thing what happened to me. I'm African American. I'm telling all these people like, hey, they're stealing this money from our people, right? And I was on World Star, and people, that's the thing. I don't even make hip hop, and in the hip hop community, people are like, yo, he's right. They're like, look, Google it, it's right here. Then Candace Owens did a whole movie about it. Wow. She wouldn't have even known all that if I didn't put that video out, Bro. The video got 37 million views in 4 days before it was taken down. And the misconception behind it was like, people were like, well, you said racism is manufactured. I'm like, what I meant to say, and they took one soundbite, and I was like, this racism is manufactured. Right. What the media is trying to do is not the overall experience of what it is to be black in America. Now, there are racist people. There are places that have more prejudice. They're more in the old school. But growing up 40 years in this country and traveling to all like 48 of the 50 states, this is not the biggest problem in the country. The biggest problem in our country is corporations lobbying our politicians to make laws and protect corporations over the people on a whole. Yeah. Because it affects all races of people, right? It's not about white versus black. It's everyone who doesn't make $1 billion a year versus the billionaires. Right. Because what people don't understand is if you make $100,000 a year, or you make $10,000 a year, or you make $1 million a year, compared to them, you're all fucking cockroaches. Right. These people make millions of dollars a minute. A minute. It's crazy. And they want us to fight each other so that we are not like, wait a second.
What about you?
Exactly. And they're like, oh, Trump's taxes. I'm like, you niggas don't pay taxes. What the fuck are you talking about? It's crazy.
Oh, that's nuts.
It's crazy when you start getting into it and what they want to do. It's like, the people, the thing is that like, I've had a lot of my friends who didn't talk to me. I have friends who didn't talk to me because of the things I was saying on my political beliefs that have come back around and apologized. Bro, I embrace everybody with love.
And I feel that in here. I honestly, man, it is something else to sit across from you and hear these words from you and hear you researched them. These are things that you've lived, you've went through. You're speaking it from, you're half black. You are an artist who has made an impact. You've left a legacy. No matter what, dude. You have left a legacy. If it ends today.
Man, we ain't done yet.
I know, that's what I'm saying. If it was to end today, you have. But I know that the person you are, you work so hard. That there's so much more to come, and I'm excited to see what you do, dude.
But that's what you know how it is, bro. It's like they can't stop you from living your truth and from being you. They could impede it, right? Like, look, again,
they've slowed you down.
You look at Billboard. They delete my fucking profile, and I'm still like, okay, cool. Oh, you did this? I'll go over here. And then they're like, oh, oops, I'm number 4 on Billboard. Oh, I'm accidentally number 10 and 17 and 20.
Yep.
My album's number 3 on iTunes. Christmas Eve, I put 2 albums out. I went number 1 in America, number 1 in Sweden, number 5 in Italy, 20 in the UK, 22 in Australia, 6 in Estonia. I don't even know where that is. 12 in Ukraine. Bro, like, and that's the thing. Fuck you.
Right?
Fuck you.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
man.
all these people who think they have to sell their souls and sign a contract, that look at artists like Peyton Parrish, look at Russ, right? Look at, and this is different genres, right? Look at, who's a good example? Look at Struggle Jennings. Look what he's been able to do. You got to understand, bro, a lot of these guys are making, you know, Ryan Upchurch. Ryan Upchurch barely plays shows. When he goes and does a show, he plays an arena. He'll do 2 arenas a year, and then he fucking plays video games the rest of the year and fucking bangs his chick and fucking buys exotic cars, right?
Wow.
But that's the thing. You don't need them anymore.
Right.
You don't have to be a slave to the system anymore. You can't allow these people who they want the right to dictate what you think and say, right? Like I played Rockfest in 2021. It's the only festival that would allow me to play. And it was me. I headlined the second stage, and it was Phil Anselmo. It was All That Remains, then Phil Anselmo, then me, and then Corey Taylor and Limp Bizkit, right? I outsold Limp Bizkit in merch.
Wow.
I cut one of my songs, and I said, I'm going to talk for 3 minutes for 12,000 people. And I fucking went off on all the shit that I get blasted
I
on.
saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I saw that.
So all the things I say on social media that are forbidden, I was like, I'm going to talk some shit, right? They're like, yo, listen, just, my fucking manager was like, listen, just be easy on the political stuff today. Like, this is a big festival. I was like, I know what that means. So I went,
pulled an Elvis, man.
bro, I went.
You pulled an Elvis.
But that's the spirit of rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I said the truth. And I said, fuck the media for their false fucking portrayal of law enforcement. And imagine going and putting your life on the risk every fucking day and coming home and turning on the news and having a bunch of dweeb pussies tell you you're a piece of shit.
Right.
Right? Like, just everything. I was like, all these kids who are coming out of college indoctrinated with socialism, I'm like, saying, I hate America. I'm like, well, then get the fuck out of here. Go to China. You like it? Go. Wow. You want communism? Go to where it is first and actually do something with your life. Do some research. Come back. Let us know how it went. You know what I mean? But people don't like this. They're like, this is toxic masculinity. I'm like, no, this is men need to stop being a pussy, and they need to have a voice in their own home, in their own network, in their own work, and enough is enough.
Right.
Enough is enough. Like, bro, how much more am I going to beat? I'm about to, like, dude, there's a thing going on. I'm going to actually destroy the Me Too movement. Literally about to destroy it.
Wow.
Because some chick tried to get money out of me and 6 other guys that she banged and tried to Me Too us. And now she's on the losing end of a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. She's a big fucking influencer, and she's going to go to jail.
Wow. Because
there's a thing in this country called abusive process. And if you use the system if you use the court systems for a vendetta and falsely accuse someone to try to get them either arrested or sue them or take their money, and you get proven wrong, you can go to jail for up to 14 years.
Wow.
So all these people, and again, BLM started out as a good idea. I know Hawk Newsom, right?
Okay.
Him and his sister started BLM when they wanted to bring attention to police brutality, but also change redlining in African American cities in America, which is a thing that the banking infrastructure did under the Nixon era, which is racist and systemically racist as fuck. And it started out as a good thing, and it got hijacked, right, by a bunch of evil white liberals, right? Same thing with Me Too. They wanted to get justice for people like Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein, but then they weaponized it, and then basically, like, any man who speaks out, we'll fabricate false allegations. Marilyn Manson just got acquitted of 2 of his accusers. They both lost their lawyers, fired them because they were hired under false pretenses, which is exactly what happened in this case that I'm dealing with. This woman has lost her 5th lawyer in a row.
Wow.
The lawyers don't want to be culpable, because if the lawyers are found guilty colluding with the client to falsely put somebody else in trouble, their law firms can be sued. So they don't want to be a part of it. So
Right.
Manson just got acquitted of 2 of his accusers. All these people went after fucking Bryan, well, whatever, we'll call Manson's name.
Yeah, Bryan.
And,
Yeah.
and like people like Kat Von D took up for him and were like, this is not what's going on.
Wow.
People don't know Evan Rachel Wood is a
Cat
is a
That's
crackhead.
back in the day. That's back in
Yeah.
our day.
But Evan Rachel
Yeah.
Wood, I dated her best friend. She's a fucking tweaker. She was a fucking junkie. Now, granted, Manson was older than her. She was of legal age, but he's also a drug addict. The 2 of them shouldn't have been. Why didn't either of their managers be like, bro? Because the managers were like, well, she's famous right
This
now,
could work.
and this is going to
This
help
could
your
work
career,
for
and I'm
each
going to
of their
make money.
careers. Exactly.
And her management is like, well, he's a big celebrity,
Right.
so they co-sign this toxic drug addict relationship, which happens all the fucking time.
Dude.
I've had famous clients where their managers are like, listen, I don't want him sober. I just want him functional. I'm like, I don't do that. You know why you don't want them sober? Because when people get sober, they start looking at the books. These people, and this is what happened to me. I could go into, I'll just give you an example. I make 18 times the amount of money I did when I was in Bad Wolves. Understand that. 18 times.
Wow.
Right? Now, I only have, when I was in Bad Wolves, my Spotify had 4 million followers. Now that I've left, they have like half. All the platforms had millions and millions of followers. YouTube videos, 500 million.
Yeah.
You know, remember when?
Yeah.
80 million, hear me now, 90 million, 20 million, 10 million. My videos have 2 million, 900,000.
Dude, that's huge,
Right?
though.
But this is completely independently and being shadow banned. And these people have trolls that report on my content to try to get it.
Right.
It's a
Squash
suppression
it,
tactic
yeah.
because the band has failed. Like the bottom line is the band is garbage without me. Right. And not in a way
Yeah.
of like not like shitty. Like they're just not, they're like,
Right.
like the band Garbage, right?
Right.
It's not the same.
Right.
It's just like, it's a much more watered down version of what it was. It doesn't have any meaning. They're illiterate, so the lyrics don't make any sense. No, it's like, this is a thing. If you don't read or write, you don't know how to write. You know what I mean? Like, so it's not, you know, and so, you know, in my absence, I've outsold them with no help.
Wow.
And you could throw millions of dollars and force people to listen to something, but if the music isn't good, it's not going to work.
Dude, I'm proud of you.
You know?
I'm proud of you. And
Thanks.
you've come a long, long way. Doc, do you have any questions for him? I know you're a big fan. Is there a question before we call it?
Come right over here.
I'd say, come on down.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Go over.
No,
Get him in a seat.
Sit here real quick.
We got
Doc is a fan. He
be easy on me.
yeah, Doc works, and I this is just off the cuff, dude. I'm just like doing this. And if Nicole's in the next room, Nicole, get your butt in here. I would love for you to come in here. But Doc, put the headphones on. Are there headphones? No, don't worry about it. Just pull the mic up. Pull the mic up to you.
Use the microphone, yeah.
I know Doc from the Discount Nutrition. That's where he works. He's a bodybuilder.
Nice.
He just competed in his first event.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
yeah.
Thank you, man.
And how'd you do it there?
Good. So I did good at my first event. Actually, funny. It's kind of connecting. You talking about singing the song "Sober," right? So,
Right.
Yeah.
I was evicted from my house this summer, so that was it's kind of private information.
Okay.
But I was also on contest prep. So you're connecting, your whole bodybuilding, fitness, and then
Yeah.
also that. And so that was as I was moving out, I was blaring that song.
Nice.
So it was like super connecting because it was a hard time, this first and moving through that, my own mental health, and then competing, doing well, and then starting my own kind of like advocacy and mental health. So it was
Dude, that's
Wow.
just cool and like really, really inspiring, having
Hell
you here
yeah.
and hearing your story as well. So
That's-
love to hear it. We love to hear it.
interesting
Yes.
sitting back there.
Sorry
and
about the
listening.
eviction.
No,
Yeah, I'm sorry
I've been
too.
evicted a
It was
couple,
Yeah,
two or
same.
three
Yeah.
times.
I know I have
Yeah.
too.
It's funny.
That's really cool. So
Yeah.
I walked in. I was really excited that you were going to come on this show because you didn't even ask. We've been friends for a while, and you didn't say, "Oh, how many followers you have?" You didn't do anything like that. You said, "Bryan, I'm coming into town on this day.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. You tell me when and where, and I'll be there." And I was so excited. I was walking into the store, and Doc always takes care of me. And I'm like, "Hey, man, do you know who Tommy Vext is?" And he goes, "Dude, I'm a huge fan."
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, "Well, why don't you come down?" And he was the only one. I said, why don't you come down and get a chance to meet you and take a picture and to have you inspire somebody. That was exciting to me now to know that he directly in the same room connected to you. And what we did here today, grab one. We're talking about millions of people that follows him and whatnot, but it's always reaching that one. And he said that earlier on in this conversation that it's his job, it's our job to try and inspire, help one person. And that, dude, that's huge, man.
That's the power of music too, right?
Yeah.
It's like one of those things. I think, like, you know, this reminds me of the interview I did at that show in Dublin on the Late Late Show, and they asked me about Bryan was interviewing me about Dolores, and I said the reason why we mourn the death of an artist is not because we knew them, it's because they helped us know ourselves.
Right.
And that's the power of music, right? Like, as we go through the lowest of the lows, you put your headphones on and you hear the message and you're reminded that someone else has gone through this or worse, and that what one man can do, another can do, right? And it's like same thing with bodybuilding. When you hear a lot of these guys' stories, bro, a lot of bodybuilders, bro, they're broke for years till they make it. It's very similar to the music world, right? Because it's like the percentage of being in that top tier is so small, right? It's not like, you know, it's not to say this, if you're a doctor and you go to school for 20 years to be a doctor, you're going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like, eventually, like, the percentage rate of making money is high.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's really hit or miss. Like, you can dedicate your entire life to the sport or to this art form and never make anything. You know what I mean? And so we're the blessed few, and you know, we shouldn't be the only ones. Everyone can do it.
Yeah, there's room for everybody. And Chase back there, Chase is an opera singer. He just got back from Austria. He was out there for 7 weeks.
Straight up.
Tell him about.
You got, what are you, a baritone?
Yeah, I'm a baritone.
You hear that? You hear that?
Yeah, I'm a fucking baritone. It's like Phil Anselmo, is that you?
Yeah.
I always love when Bryan has other musicians on and that kind of thing, because, I mean, even though, like, classical's just, I mean, it's not as far away from metal as it could possibly be, but, like, it's a completely different ballgame, but we're all doing the same thing, really. You know, we're all in the trenches, man.
Do you ever listen to Hidden Citizens?
I have never listened to Hidden Citizens.
They're like they're an orchestral production company that remakes regular songs from movies. So they'll take like a Rolling Stone song and then like Paint It Black, and they make it orchestral, right? And then they put like either a pop or jazz or rock singer or rapper in the context of the song with a symphony.
Oh, wow.
And they redo all these songs, and they have original songs too, but you might dig on it. And then they're always looking for unknown singers. That's why it's Hidden Citizens.
Yeah.
Hidden Citizens, all right?
They employ like non-famous singers to sing on these things, and like they want to get them placed in movies and shit. And obviously, if you know how royalties work, like that's where the real money's at.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
for real. I went and watched Chase perform. He performed at UNLV about a month ago, and it was really moving, you know, to sit in a room and watch him, you know, up there singing in Italian and then singing in English and doing what I can't do. And it was really moving. And so when he chose to be the guy who's going to produce my show, it meant a lot to me. And then same, like, I thank you for coming down and being here and sharing your story in that moment, you know, with us here.
So it's like nostalgia, because it was like a turning point in kind of my life. Or like coming out of a hardship, it was a hard year. I was in a car accident, brain injury,
Damn, bro.
school. Wow. You know, I was out of school battling, you know, depression, anxiety, stuff. You know, you can't control your mind right, and then you know, getting evicted, and then it was just kind of, you know, listening to that song as I was like coming out of it. You know, a new beginning. You know, a new place, moving in. You know, I wasn't gonna be, you know, homeless anymore. Like it was kind of something cool. And so every time I hear that song, it's like, it reminds me of starting new and, you know, coming out of a dark time and yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
for real.
We got the circle of bros.
Yeah, you know.
It's positive as fucking.
Yeah, but that's what you go back to what you said. That's what needs to be. We need that. We need men being able to stand next to another man and go, I got you. And he was able to reach out to you. He was able to connect with you without you ever meeting him. And
that's what we hope,
and,
right?
and yeah, it's about music as a songwriter.
That's the goal, is always to try to, one, create something that's greater than the sum of its parts, but also carry a message of depth and weight.
Oh,
and it's too many people just like, it's, I know a lot of people who are like, oh, nobody listens to the lyrics. I'm like, 90% of the audience listens to the lyrics if you give them something to read.
Exactly.
It's like giving somebody a book and just not having any of the pages full. It's like like a song without words is a coloring book. Without words.
And I want to go back to something too. You're the Uncovered 1 and Uncovered 2, Volume 1 and Volume 2. You have introduced me to music that I didn't even know, because you have taken pop songs and rock songs and just, I'm like, oh, you've connected me to new music, but through you, meaning you're the one presenting it in a way that I'm like, oh, I like this. These are all covers.
It's like this. A great song is a great song, and
no matter how you produce, it's just produced differently, right?
And so, but this was one of the main things that in rock music, what I've seen happening is, I like progressive stuff. Like Meshuggah is one of my favorite bands. I just went to see them, got to hang out and watch them smoke weed backstage, and talk shit, and and like I like bands like Ginger, and I like bands like After the Burial, and I went to all the Dillinger Escape Plan's farewell tour, farewell shows in New York City, and I like Mr. Bungle and like Faith No More. Whatever, I'm cool with it, but there's something to be said about writing great songs, like undeniable songs. And the Beatles were a massive influence on me as a kid, because it was my father's favorite band. And so the Beatles, the reason why I did all these covers, it wasn't because I was like, oh, let me try to make a cover and whatever. We were sitting in COVID quarantine, and we had no money coming in.
Right.
And the business, there were only 2 owners and 2 writers, so we were making publishing, but the rest of my guys were broke.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go in the studio with my producer, and I'm gonna record 1 song a week.
What's his name, by the way?
Joseph McQueen.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He is amazing. Go ahead.
So he also didn't want to get COVID, so we had to separate the room. So I would go in the vocal booth, and he went in the control room, and that's what we did. And the guitar player I hired, he lived in Vegas, and so I would be like, okay, I need your idea of a cover of this. And then I'd give it to him Friday. He'd send it in Monday. I'd go sing it. And then we would put it on Patreon. And so we told the fans that we were starting a Patreon, and I would put a new song up every day for 22 weeks.
Wow.
And there were 22 songs added, and they paid $10 a month. And we had done a live stream concert live from quarantine.
Okay.
And it made $300,000.
Whoa.
Right? 3,000 people subscribed. And I did all that work, but guess where the money went? To everybody. I paid everybody's salary. I paid, all the guys in the band got their salary. My business partner got his salary. I didn't pay myself because I didn't need the money, because I had 10 other jobs.
Okay.
Because I had over $250,000 in social media endorsements.
Okay.
So I was just like, whatever. I paid the sound guy's salary who had a baby on the way, and the label took 20%.
Wow.
And I was like, cool. But this is the thing, like, this is leadership. Leadership means you make everybody eats before you.
You did that before you had anything. You did that.
Well,
you did that
even,
when you did her song.
Yeah, even while everybody was trying to steal, kick me out of the band and
you
collude against me.
You were doing this.
They're like, man, this guy's keeping us.
They all need to hear this. You know that I went into the store to try and find the drink that you actually.
First Form.
Yeah, First Form.
Oh yeah. You gotta. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I went to go get it so we could put it here. No, but I went to put it on the table.
Oh, nice.
I went into the store where he works, and I'm like, hey, I need First Form. I'm gonna bring it in for the show, and he's like, I think it's only online.
It's only online, and some stores carry it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's coming to. They're gonna start pushing it for like gas station sales and stuff.
Oh, cool.
But it's like for me, like I don't like feeling like I don't like crashing after I drink an energy drink, and I don't like this. They put a lot of like not healthy shit in them. So because they're a fitness company, it's a very clean burning like energy drink, and I don't ever feel like a hangover after. I don't get a headache. I don't get like a sugar crush. Like I don't crash. You know, and I've been friends with Andy Frisella for like 4 years, and I've been on his podcast a bunch of times, and like he's one of my best friends.
Oh, cool.
I love the guy to death, but that's the thing. It's like his integrity. Like they make their products are immaculate.
That's
you know what I mean?
Amazing.
So
that's
yeah.
amazing.
Not an ad. Just,
No, I know.
you
I'm the one who brought.
Shout out to the homies,
bro. I'm the one who brought it up, and that's why Doc's here. Hey, Nicole, if you're in the next room, I want you to come in here real quick. Because my girl, like
Bring
I
the
said,
dog.
she is a big fan. Yeah, she's
and you're a new you're a puppy
parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm exhausted. I was telling you the bags under my eyes are from a lack of sleep, and yeah, it's just crazy, but I love it. I said, try and take her away from me. I love that little thing. She's amazing.
That's what's up. I told you I got attacked by a dog last night.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it was so crazy.
He's wrestling a pit bull. Hey, jump in this seat over here real quick, babe. Come on.
She's like on camera.
She's never been on camera. Come on. Come show our puppy before we wrap this up. I think this is the longest episode. I was talking about you. You were in the next room. Yeah. This is Nicole Ruffino. This is the love of my life, and our new puppy, Aria.
And what a great story too, huh?
Yeah, our story is pretty unique, and it's crazy because if you were to Google my name, you would see, or her name, there's probably about 200 interviews around the world on different stages, from CNN to whatever, to talk shows telling our love story, to I wrote a song called Falling For You Bad, which was the song. I wrote 6 songs in this journey, and the last song was kind of like I'm taking a chance on letting her know how I feel, because we have a bond.
Yeah,
We've survived this thing together, but now she's either there's going to be a whole of her running through the wall, running from me, or
wait. So how long did it take him to confess?
Let's see. Well, I told him I just wanted to be friends. So he'd come over and I'd say, okay, it's time to go home. And I wouldn't let him stay the night. But I think it was 5 months before we said I love you.
Yeah.
We both said it at the same time.
Yeah. But what was really crazy was I remember bus driver.
Just so you got every guy out there who's listening, the friend zone is not the end zone. You
No,
hang in there.
Hang in there.
You're saying there's a chance.
She said, this is never going to happen.
Yeah.
And I heard, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eventually we give in, I guess.
You know, there was a moment I was going out on tour, and I was leaving with 3 Doors Down. I tell the bus driver, hey, I forgot something at the store. Everybody's loading up the bus, and it's out in front of my place. And I jump in the car, and I race to her house, and I knock on the door, and I literally said, we survived this together. She almost died from viral meningitis, which we didn't know what it was in November.
Oh my God.
She calls me, and I'm sitting by her bed holding her hand. She doesn't remember asking for me. She doesn't remember me being there, but I sat next to her bed, and because I was like, literally, she wants me there. Are you sure? And then that's in November. I'm leaving on this tour, and I tell her, whoever you choose in your life has me to deal with now, because I am here. I'm here. We went through all that. You saved my life. I've saved your life, because you gave me, by giving me a purpose and looking at this stranger and saying, I'm going to get you out. It saved my life, because I don't know what could have happened. And then I said, so whoever it is that you choose, that's what they have to deal with. And then she surprised me on the tour and shows up at one of the shows, and I knew there was something there, but it's crazy. So you were telling me about Tommy's.
There's hope.
There's hope. Before we let Tommy go, you were telling me about, one of your favorite songs that he did on the new record on the way over here, and how you love his voice and everything. And what song was that?
Oh, Adele.
Oh yeah, Hometown Glory.
Hometown Glory.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's such a good song.
It's one of my all-time favorite songs. I just really love the way that you did it.
Oh,
It was
thanks.
Really nicely done.
She is a powerhouse, and that was a terrifying song to cover. That was actually one of the first ones I did because I listened to that song. Oh man, that song just, it reminds me of when I lived in New York in Soho, and I don't know, there's just a vibe to the city, right? And she's British, obviously, so she's probably talking about like Southampton or Essex or wherever wherever. But it just connected to me, and so all those songs that I did, like there's like a point of reference. So where you guys are like, oh, when you played Sober, I'm like, well, all the songs that I covered, I have moments of all those, right? Like Video Games was a song that so before Lana Del Rey was even signed, Lana's sober, and like I dated a girl who was friends with her. And she was like, you gotta listen to my friend's Elizabeth's demo.
No way.
And I remember like, I remember I came over her apartment and like she wanted to slow dance to the song over and over again. Yeah. And I was like, yo, what is this? And then Lana Del Rey came out. Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So
how cool. It's a cool connection.
Yeah.
And out of these, is there one or two songs that you just, when you hear it, you're like, that off the record? I mean,
oh yeah. Like for me, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like all of them are, they're all different. Like the Papa Roach song, they asked us to do that.
Really?
Like, yeah, because they were doing we were going on tour with them, and they had asked us to do like a cover to post on social media, and the shit was so good. I was like, yo, I'm doing this whole thing.
Oh
yeah, and I went in and did the whole thing. And with my buddy Philip, who's the guy who played guitars on Zombie. This guy Philip Naslin, who never got
I read about that. Yeah,
he also played piano on Video Games. He's like my secret. Like, he's a Swedish producer, and he's brilliant. And so we've done probably like 40 songs together, and he's just the silent guy. You know, he's just he's a quiet dude. He's like, just pay me and I'm good. And it's like, I play Zombie,
Do you play any instruments yourself?
I'm terrible at piano, but because I've had to play it in videos, I'm like now on a mission to get good. But it's pretty awful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm getting better.
All right. Well, I did, dude. That's what it's all about. Babe, do you have any questions before we wrap this all up? I can't believe I got you on camera. I'm so excited. And this is the longest episode I've ever done.
You might have to cut this up.
I know. I'm going to probably have to cut this into part 2. Yeah, part 2. Maybe even part 3. Damn. But, I mean, you've been hearing everything in the next round. I need to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
But it's just been an honor to have you. And thanks for...
It's been a pleasure, man.
For doing this with us. Chase, before we bounce, any questions,
I wasn't ready for the questions either.
Yeah,
it was a very
Chase. Can you just say chocolate rain?
Chocolate rain. Some stay dry and others feel the pain. Oh, that's the one.
Yo, he knows the words.
Well, for everybody out there, man, isn't that cool?
Can you do my voicemail like that?
I can do your voicemail. You got it, brother.
Holy shit.
Well, Doc, thank you for jumping on here, baby. Thank you so much. I can't believe. Don't go anywhere. Just stay right there.
She's not
Austin,
on my fingers.
Austin, do you have any questions? You're a big fan of the old school. No, come on, man.
Get over here, brother.
Get over here. Get real quick before you go, because he was the one who hit me with all these questions.
Oh yeah, Austin's a deep cut.
Yeah, jump over here in Nicole's chair real quick, and No, you're good. You're good. Jump in Nicole's chair real fast. Love you, babe. Thanks.
Dog is so cute.
So when we came in, I started this. I said I got Tommy Vext coming in, and you were giving everybody shit today.
I was just being funny.
Yeah, are you a real fan? Because here, boom.
No,
do you know who this is?
So
and he starts playing.
I wouldn't
it
consider myself a real fan because I didn't I know Bad Wolves,
sure,
but I didn't listen to it that much. Even Divine Heresy, I just really liked. I listened to that album, but I really liked the one song.
Yeah, Failed Creation.
Yeah, but it was one of the first songs when I was 13 and just picked up the guitar in my 10-year career playing guitar. That was the first song I learned how to play.
No way.
That was not an easy song to learn first.
To be fair, first song was Bulls on Parade.
Okay.
Rage Against the Machine. That was the first song, and then I took lessons for 10 years. Like I took private lessons. I got very good at like right hand rhythmic stuff. And so I was like, this song seems cool. So I just learned I pulled up the tab and I put the song on my little circular boombox I had at the time. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to play along with it. Couldn't play like the solo and everything, but play all the
That's
like the
okay.
chorus and
Dino
everything.
couldn't either.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so we're doing. Well, the funny thing is we're doing a Divine Heresy reunion tour. It's not a tour. We're doing a few shows. It might turn into a tour. So I've obviously Joe Payne, rest in peace. Joe passed away. Love Joe. We stayed friends all the way up to the last text message I got from him was about a week before he died. And he was drunk at a bar and Zombie came on and he was like singing. And I was on
Right,
tour with
yeah.
Megadeth and I was like, yo, look at Joe. And they're like, yo, you know, we were
Yeah.
out in Europe and then I got the bad news. But he was a great guy. And Adam Deuce, who was one of the founding bass player of Machine Head, is going to be filling in. And Tim Young and me are obviously back together. And Mark Rizzo is going to be replacing Dino on guitar.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dino's in Soulfly and Mark's in doing this.
Right.
He asked me, hey, is this going to be your first question? And he was joking. And I'm like, no, dude, I was nervous because I didn't know what we could or could not talk about. But I was going to leave that up to you. And like you said, I'm well versed in what I could say.
I could talk about anything.
Yeah. Which was great. And if you move to Vegas, come be on the show. We'll you can guest host with me for a day, and
Let's do it.
we'll have some fun in here with some people.
We can bring a couple, 2-3 people in here. Get
Yeah.
weird, make it uncomfortable. But yeah, man.
Yeah. But before we bounce, Austin has his own show. Plug your show.
Oh yeah, that's actually what I've been working on all day. So I have a show that I started with a late friend of mine. Rest in peace, Christian. Yeah, it was called The Truly Bizarre, and it was about like cryptids, paranormal, conspiracy stuff like that. So now
Sounds right up my alley.
So there you go, perfect. So we actually rebranded, and now it's under the Podcast Junkies Network, which is the network we have here. So now it's called Bizarre Junkies.
Okay.
Cool stuff coming out. I do a weekly podcast with that where we find real videos and stuff like that.
Are you doing stuff like the Tartarian Empire theories? Are you doing
Not yet.
Heart Machine, CERN?
So we did. I did a video on Operation Starfish Prime.
Okay.
So we get like that. Like right now, I'm doing a video on exorcisms.
Oh, cool.
So like that's what I've been working on in the back all day. Is
that
back
stuff
there.
creeps me the fuck out.
Yeah.
Right, creeps me the fuck out too. But that's why I do it. It's like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, this stuff is great. So yeah, I do a weekly podcast every Monday, right, live on YouTube, Bizarre Junkies. You can find us on Spotify, and then also we have the long form content as well on the YouTube channel. So I'll do
Nice.
like video essays, or I'll do like breakdowns of like, okay, what is like this one is like, what is an exorcism? Is it really, a demonic possession, or is it just something undiagnosed?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I will subscribe if you
I appreciate
subscribe to
that.
mine.
Of course.
Yeah.
We're all gonna trade subscribes.
Exactly.
Yeah, we
follow
are.
for
But
follow.
people don't know how important it is. Like this is the thing. Again, when I started running my own YouTube, and like we did pretty well. Like we're at like I think 130 or 40,000 in less than a year, right?
Wow.
But it's like again, it's I'm not an unknown artist, right? So
Right.
it's like you have to reintroduce yourself to all these people. Like, oh, I didn't even know this fucking guy. Where'd he go?
Yeah, and like, is it really him?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what you were having to deal with.
Yeah. So, but so if you're on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
Jesus
just boom,
Christ.
subscribe.
I'm subscribed to too many channels on YouTube. Like if I find like one or two videos of yours that I like, I'm usually just like, you put like as a content creator, I go, you put in the effort, I'll give you the subscribe.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I put out like 20 videos already.
Wow.
Right.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's like 100 pieces of content and full music videos.
Wow.
Full production.
Wow.
Yeah. But this is the thing, like, I'm being on major labels, like, no, you can't do, like, there's only so much this, that, the other. I'm like, how is it that I managed to spend like 40 grand and do 20 videos? And every time we go, like, because you start to realize these people are sending bills and inflating costs. And,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the video's going to be $30,000. I'm like, you paid $3,000 for it. I'm like, you're just saying that so that we can never recoup against our record.
Right.
And it keeps you poor. And if you don't have your own money, you're under control.
Yep.
You know?
Agreed. Yep.
I'm the guy charging that much for videos. I'm the guy going, it's going to be about $2,000 for me to come film you.
Yeah. But listen,
Literally, you do it for free.
But
Yeah.
that's the way to
Yeah.
the way to do it is like, and also too, if if you're on the ground level and you're finding new talent, there are people who are making amazing content because they need to get a brand association and they need to build their catalog. And so you're both mutually helping each other. And then, you know, it makes all the high priced old school way obsolete. So there's so many bands out there that, like, you know, if you're watching this, you're a fan of mine and you're in a band and you want to make an expensive video, but you don't have money for it, call this guy. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, call that guy.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yep.
and just keep putting out content. That's the major thing. Like, if you're an independent artist, you got to have content. You have to be at a place where you are putting out so much shit that nobody can even fucking come close to you. No artist put out 3 albums last year,
Right.
independently, and
Wow.
and I'm gonna put out 3 albums this year.
Wow.
Right?
Good for you,
I'm
dude.
going back in the studio on February 1st with Mark Rizzo, and we're gonna go make a record,
Bro.
right? And I'm gonna re-release and re-record the Divine Heresy album, Bleed the Fifth, because we can't have the name, and Dino doesn't want to be a part of it because he doesn't like money and he doesn't want to make the fans happy. He wants to be a bidder. So we're like, fuck it, whatever. We'll just call it something else, and then we'll put it out.
Good for you.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to that. So, did you have fun today?
Yeah, it was great.
Dude,
It was
I had
awesome.
a great time.
Well, it's like not really like it's not really like a podcast because it's like old friends catching up
Exactly.
after a while.
Exactly.
It's a different vibe.
Right. And
You know?
and I enjoyed it. Dude, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
thanks
to
for
break
having me.
this up into 2 parts, and you know what? We'll get to this afterwards. But I have Tommy Vext today, everybody, and for everyone out there listening at Rock Rage Radio, thank you. For my sponsors, I've got, Red Rock Harley Davidson, thank you. S&P Inc., thank you so much. I was just there today. And JPS Computers, Jesse over there at JPS, and Alex, thank you guys so much. Sticky Paw Studios, John, everyone, Chase, my producer, Tommy Vext.
Chocolate Rain.
Yeah.
Chocolate rain.
This is Bryan from A Hero's Journey Podcast. Thank you so much. Be kind.
Dream, and I believe it's coming around to me.